Hey there guys, how's it going? Yeah, it's nighttime right now. It's creepy atmosphere. I'm still in the woods. I'm stuck out here. And I'm not able to film during the day right now because my boss decided, let's give you a bunch of morning shifts. So thanks a lot, because of that I have to film during the night for a little while. It's a little creepy. It's night. It's starting to get a little chilly. You know, it's the Halloween season. Maybe I'm Dennis the Menace and that's Switchblade Sam over there, and we're gonna cook some beans over a fire and he might try kill me, and then I have to go get Mr. Wilson. I don't know. Sully is directed by Clint Eastwood and stars Tom Hanks and Aaron Eckhart, among others. There's also, what's her name from Breaking Bad, the wife. I'm forgetting, Skylar. That's right. Do you feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? Yeah, it's a Clint Eastwood directed movie, okay? I had to do it. But yeah, Sully is the true life story of the Miracle on the Hudson, which actually happened, what was it, 2010? It was very recent, where Tom Hanks, who plays the pilot, Sully, they're taking off some fucking birds who ruin everything, really. They crash, they hit the engines of the plane, and it's like, okay, let's turn back around. And he makes a decision, okay, we can try and make it to the airport or land on the Hudson, which is extremely dangerous and endangers everyone's lives, but he does it. Everyone lives, but then not only does that happen, then there's an investigation about Sully. We think you fucked up. We think you should have went back to the airport. We think you would have made it, and you just endangered everyone. And it's an investigation like he saved everyone, but still, we're going to try and get him in trouble because we're the government and we suck. I hope you don't mind, but I got to put on something. I'm starting to get a little bit of chills. And you know, we're out in the woods. It's like camping. Let's warm up with a little bit of flannel. And you know, it's cool. It's a true life story. Clint Eastwood's doing that a little bit lately. He also did American Sniper, which, check out my review for that. I don't have time to bring it up now, but it was negative thoughts. But I still like Clint Eastwood a lot as a director. Overall, he does a lot of great stuff. So I was like, this is hopefully going to be exciting. But as a director, sometimes he goes on too long, and you know, the guy has a style of saturated, a lot of dark, like grayish, bluish colors. He's almost like a Zack Snyder to even more of the extremes, sucking out all the saturation. Just very dark, moody looking movies that kind of go on too long a lot of times, I'll be honest. And that was nice about Sully, is that it still has the same color palette, but it's a short movie. It's like 90 minutes. He just gets in and gets out. He gives you what you want and he moves on. And I was like, thanks, Clint. And he was like, you're welcome. And this stars Tom Hanks, America's uncle or dad or whatever. Tom Hanks. He's just almost everything he's in. He's amazing. He's fantastic. It's a given. And you forget, like, oh, he can also do movies like Da Vinci Code or this upcoming movie Inferno, where it's like he can phone it in, but 99% of the time he's amazing. And in this, he's amazing as Sully. He really captures the humanity of the guy, like the fear and the questioning, the self-doubt of, okay, we went through this situation, I made a decision, and did I make the wrong decision? All the self-doubt he goes through. He's a likable dude, even though because it's a true story, there's only so much they can do. They don't want to maybe over-dramatize it too much to try and make it more interesting. So you're kind of given a very straightforward character. He's not super interesting because they kind of have to represent a real life guy. And sometimes with movies based on true events, you can't make it too different. So because of that, sometimes they flow a little differently with the events that happen and how they progress and characters. Because Tom Hanks is great, but overall his character's not super interesting. He's a good guy. He's a normal, everyday good guy who's a pilot. This happened and he just wants to move on with his life, and I did the right thing, I did a good thing, can I move on with my life? But he still makes it interesting as he can, you know? It's just sometimes with real world, true stories, the characters are a little bit empty because it's just a real person, so they're not gonna give him a wacky personality, you know? Am I making sense? I don't know. But also we got Aaron Eckhart, Two-Face, but also just a solid good actor who doesn't get enough good work. Why do you have to come out here? I'm doing a video. You're interrupting my flow. What's this look like? Hey. Cats, man. Cats. Aaron Eckhart just doesn't get enough good work. He's a solid, talented actor. It's like he was Two-Face, Thank You for Smoking, and now he's just doing like this. But before that, it was like, what was it? I, Frankenstein? He needs to get more awesome movie roles because the guy's super talented, and his mustache in this, on point. He's killing it with that mustache. Fantastic. Those are the two main characters basically, and they're interesting enough, you know, they're solid, likable guys you get behind, like they're good. I support them in what they did. And another weakness to the movie I would say is The CG is pretty weak in this. You know, it has to deal with a fucking plane crashing into the Hudson. A rough landing, a crash, whatever you want to call it. And it's like, I wish they spent more on the budget for the CGI or used it better, because it's just, sometimes it looks good, but other times, ooh, they needed to take some more time to refine it and touch it up to make it look better. And it took me out a little bit, actually. It should have looked better. It should have looked better, because that's one of the pivotal moments, is the plane crashing and landing. So it's like, it should have looked a little better. But overall, still, they did some cool stuff with that. And also the movie's non-chronological. It's going sequence of events, like, set in an interesting way that for the most part works, but then after a certain point it's like, okay, I think from this point on just move straight forward and move on with it. But they jumped back a few more times, sometimes to things where it's like, okay, here's super young Tom Hanks, and I don't think this matters. You could have cut it. We didn't even need to jump back to it, whatever. But for the most part, I kind of like that they were non-chronological. It made for an interesting layout of events where, you know, we're starting at this certain point where you might not think we'd start, and then we're jumping back here, then back and forth, in a way that I, overall, for the most part, liked. And it's well directed by Clint Eastwood. The guy knows how to put a camera there and film some pretty good shots, you know? The guy's really good at that, so there's no problems with direction. And like I said, it's a short film, so it tells a true life story, and it's a lot of courtroom drama stuff, so we get a mostly convincing, half the time, really good plane crash. That stuff, it's like with American Sniper. I hated the movie overall, but when they had Bradley Cooper in a situation with a gun, it was super good and intense. And this, when they're on that fucking plane, I'm spellbound. It's just intense and fantastic. And when it's the courtroom stuff, I'm still very interested there too. So overall, it's really well directed, and he's able to keep either intensity with the plane crash and all that. Just, I understand everyone's gonna live, but it's still, I'm invested. I'm on the edge of my seat. And then the courtroom stuff, also very interested in what's gonna happen, because I didn't know, like, the real story of what happened to the dude. I guess my only problem would be that it's a good story. It's a nice movie where everything about it, it's well made. It flows good enough. There's a few things that maybe CG could have been a little better. Maybe this flashback wasn't that important, but the movie overall is not super spectacular. It's like, it tells its story, it tells it well, and it was a fun, entertaining movie for the 90 minutes, and I'm gonna move on with my life. But it wasn't super amazing or anything. I would give Sully a B. I think it's a solid movie you should definitely check out. I don't know if you need to rush to see it in theaters, because like I said, the spectacle of the plane crash, when it comes to the CGI super big cool parts, that would be the reason to see it in a theater. It lets you down with that CG budget, but it's still overall a good movie. So comment below, tell me your thoughts on Sully, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later.